Hello and welcome to the iGeeks blog show, an Apple exclusive podcast where we talk about teeny tiny, every possible information about the Apple ecosystem. I'm your host Harshanki, a marketing nerd who likes to eat, breathe, and survive on Apple content quite literally. Well, it's the month of women, right? I mean, technically every day is Women's Day. I mean, regardless of the gender, but owing to the women in tech vertical, we have someone with us who is proactively working on educating women about financial services. We have with us Ms. Rujul Gupta, Head of Product at Basis. Hi, Rujul. Welcome to the iGeeks blog show. How are you doing today?
Hey, Harshanki. Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Great. So I hope you have a good time with us, but we would want to talk about Basis a little. Like let's try to understand the platform and educate the audience about it. What does Basis do?
Sure. So Basis is India's financial services destination for women, right? So think of financial services that have been designed and curated specifically for the needs of women. We do this through communities and education. We understand the importance of actually educating and creating the awareness of financial literacy within our users. Because there is a lot of intimidation around finance, right? So how do we educate them, but also at the same time provide a safe space where they can learn, where they can reach out to experts and also get a community of women who they can relate with and grow with. So Basis provides both communities and financial education. And we top this up with very, very curated financial services such as health insurance for women and even access to credit for women.
How nice. How amazing is that? So is the platform working pan-India or has it become a global platform?
Yeah, so we're currently live in India right now.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Why financial services for women? How did that idea strike through?
Yeah, so that's a great question, right? And I love to answer this.
Right.
Let's look at the trends first, right? So if you're looking at financial services for women, there was a CDSL survey that mentioned that only 24% of stock market investors are actually women, and less than 12%, I think there was a DSP survey that said that less than 12% actually make their own financial decisions. It's a massively underserved segment, and mostly because traditional financial institutions have seen women more as a marketing problem rather than a segment whose needs need to be thought out more thoroughly and whose needs need to be curated to in a much better way. But apart from that, there are also a lot of biases that come into play, right? So there are cultural and psychological biases that come into play when it comes to finance and women. And so we see this as a massively under-tapped segment whose needs we are looking at a lot more deeply than other companies in the industry are. And we are a company that women can relate to, women can trust. Which is why we're building financial services specifically for women. And this is a problem that is personal for us, right? Like I have faced this problem growing up. I'm sure you might have faced problems related to finances also. And women on our team have as well. So we're almost building for ourselves, and which is why it's a problem that's very special and very personal to us.
So how is Basis creating a change? I mean, what has the impact? What are the changes you've observed after getting the platform live?
Yeah, so we have upwards of 120,000 women on our platform who are actively present and, on the community. They're answering questions. They have invested. They have also, we have women who have come in and learned a lot about personal finance. We host master classes as well, where they can come in and learn about finance and actively take that next step, right? So, if you think about it, most women in their lives have seen men actually take care of money. And there's so many biases that women are risk averse, but we think that's not true because women are just more deliberate and they're more research oriented while taking that final step, which in fact makes them a lot more disciplined in their investing, which makes them better borrowers. And so we've seen women buy very specific health insurance policies through our platform. And we also we recently launched the waitlist for our Power Card, through which we're providing credit to a host of women users. And we've curated this card for women itself. And so we've gotten a great response from our users from that. And we're looking forward to launching that and bringing about a change in the industry through that as well.
I mean, that's a massive growth within just 3 years. 2018 was the year you guys started, right?
Yeah, 2019, yes.
2019. Amazing and incredible growth in this such a short span of time, right? And I mean, this is a space that is yet to be discovered a lot and yet to be explored a lot. But then I would like to understand what is the target group that you're focusing, because when you talk about women, women are not, I mean, they're still getting used to the idea of being workaholics or being in management positions, and a large sector of the society is still surviving as housewives. So how do you cater to both the age groups, and like, how is it working out?
Yeah, so for Basis, our segment really is women between the ages of 21 to 40, working professionals. People, of course, you do need some sort of agency, right, to like make that decision. And so we're also helping women build that agency through our education and communities. And that's changing slowly but surely. So initially, we saw a segment with women would come in at the age of 25, but Gen Z women are awesome, right? They're coming in, they're in colleges, they're looking at their finances, they're seeing more women role models. So we've actually seen a huge user base of ours that's coming in at the age of 18, wanting to understand more about their finances. And so we're actively also reaching out to that user base and making sure that they, even before they start earning, right, they have the base set in. And the minute that they start earning, they know what to do with their money.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, that's nicely put. And I mean, the times, especially after COVID, has become such that financial literacy is at its peak. So why not make the most out of it?
Yeah, exactly.
But let's talk about the Basis team. I mean, it's for the women. Is it by the women? Do you have 100% women staff out there? What's the scene like?
We don't. So we actually have gender parity on our team. So we have both men and women working. Obviously, the women on the team have a very, very personal passion towards the problem. But even the men in the team understand the problem, right? Like they've seen maybe their moms, they've seen their sister, they've seen their friends, their wives go through this problem, and which is why they also have a very personal stake in it. And at the end of the day, obviously we're going towards one specific gender, but at the same time, it's also a multi-billion-dollar market that's waiting to be untapped. And so everyone on the team sees the growth. They understand the scale at which we'll be operating, hopefully in a couple of years. And and for sure, so I think it's both. It's the passion towards the problem, and also the overall scale they see with this, the growth that they see with this company as well.
That's beautifully said. But let's understand your position and your role in Basis. I believe you have a tech role.
Yeah, so I actually lead product at Basis. I'm the head of product. So we are a product company, right? So product strategy tends to be the business strategy as well. So I do everything from strategy, leading our product discussions, our roadmap, also working with our designers, with our product designers, in fact, with the engineering team to push features out to overall. I mean, I'm designing the entire user experience of the users on our app, right? Obviously with my team. So that's what I lead in. A lot of the business strategy aspects, our GTM, our marketing strategy feeds into it. And so as the lead of product in a product company, you're wearing multiple hats, you're doing a lot of things. But yeah, of course, with that product and with that tech lens.
I mean, deadlines are, of course, obviously going to be there for us. But you're wearing a lot of hats, and I'm sure you're doing an amazing work out there. Have you, by any chance, because the platform itself, like your tagline mentions that it's financial services for women, right? Mm-hmm. So have you guys ever received any form of backlash or some stereotypes that you guys were categorized into, and how did you deal with it?
So I think the question always comes in like, oh, what is the need for like women-focused financial services? We don't see a need for it. But our research and our users speak for themselves, right? Like our numbers speak for themselves. So I think we need women to curate services for women. And so that's what we've done with Basis as well. And our numbers really speak for themselves.
100%, 100%. And how has the growth been? Has it been all organic, or you've had partnerships and influencer collaborations?
Yeah, so of course, organic growth and word of mouth referrals have been leading the growth app basis for sure. But we also, see a lot of interest in collaborations and partnerships. We partner with corporates as well, because that's where you can a lot of times tap women who are working as well. And a lot of times corporates are also very, very interested in furthering their policies towards more gender parity, towards helping the women in their workforce as well. So we do a mix of both.
Amazing. And how does anyone try to get in touch with you or the platform if they want to sign up to the platform?
So we're available everywhere. So you can find us on the App Store. You can find us on the Play Store. We also have a web app. And on social media, you can follow us at GetBasis. We do financial awareness through our social media as well. But if you really want to take charge of your finances, I definitely recommend downloading the app today.
Absolutely. Guys, I'm going to add the link in the description. Make sure you check the app, and trust me, it is going to help you become better individuals. Sometimes we might feel that we may or may not need financial advisors or any sort of education, but upscaling yourself is always important, especially when you're supported by your own gender and your own community. There's nothing better than that. Right? I'm sure you'll agree to it, Rujul.
For sure, 100%.
So we talked about how, our gender has always been categorized into, okay, why do they need the advice and stuff like that? But considering and looking at today's scenario, a lot of things have changed. So would you like to point out certain stereotypes that are no longer relevant in the current year?
Yeah, I think one specifically I mentioned that in general, women are more intimidated and they don't, want to take control of their finances, right? So we've seen that change within our user base as well. Like I mentioned, even Gen Z folks who are 18 are on our app and are taking control of their finances. I think that's changing. Agency for sure. So we're seeing as more women earn their own money, enter their workforce, they're literally earning their own money. They have agency over that and they want to make decisions for it as well, which might not have happened before. And I think one definite thing that we're seeing changing is the overall conjecture and the overall perspective towards credit, right? So we've grown up, and I think especially our generation, we've grown up from our parents thinking that debt is bad, right? Yeah. But at the same time, we're seeing a lot more women understand that, in fact, credit is an essential part of your financial journey. It's more of an enabler, and which is why our Power Card has received such a great response, because we understand the fears and the perspectives towards credit for women, and that's how we've curated the card as well. And so that's on the stereotype that's changing, and we're also at basis changing it as well as we go.
Amazing. That's brilliant. That's really amazing. Is there any piece of advice that you'd like to give to the young listeners over here? Some financial advice, or do they have to download the app for that?
Yeah, I'd say for financial advice, definitely download the app. We have a whole host of experts on the app who will be able to give you much better advice than I can on finance. But I think in general, I think one thing that I've always heard from my mentors and even the co-founders at Basis, right? That women tend to underplay our achievements, and we tend to sort of always have that guilt over what we're saying. So I think just being confident and being talking to other women, creating that community. A community has really, really helped me understand and relate to other women in the workforce. And I think for me, it's been very personally fulfilling to also work for women, right? So I think having that community around you is very, very helpful and something that will really help you achieve your goals. At least it has for me.
That's nicely put. It sounded so poetic and therapeutic, right? Guys, do listen to this advice. It's extremely important to understand and be around each other, just support each other, because as you grow older, you're going to realize the importance of it. And it cannot get any better if the same community is educating you about finances as well. Please do check out the app, and I'm going to attach all the links there. I'm going to thank Rujul for joining us on the platform. Thank you for giving your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. It has been a pleasure hosting you. Thank you for tuning in to the episode. This was Women in Tech with product head Rujul Gupta from Basis. I'm sure you're going to love the app. You guys have to check it out. Don't forget to connect with us on our social media channels. We're available everywhere as iGeeks blog. And if you want to connect with me, you can hit me up on Instagram. I'm available as Harshanki with an extra R. With that, we'd like to put an end to this episode, but I'm going to see you next week with more exciting content, hopefully about the Apple ecosystem, maybe a product test, you don't know what. So do tune into the episode, and if you want all of this information in written format, don't forget to download our app. That's all. This is Harshanki signing off. Have a great day, Rujul. Take care and see you soon.